And hi there, welcome into this special online edition of WTOL 11 News at 6. I'm Jeff Smith. Right now, the Steelers and Bills are playing a game that was scheduled for Sunday on WTOL 11. Winter weather forced the NFL to reschedule, and that cold has prompted Toledo Public and Washington local schools to close for the day tomorrow. By the way, Springfield local schools on a 2-hour delay. You can find all that information on our website, WTOL.com. But check this out. The cold did not stop people from heading out to the ice today. We caught up with some skaters out at the Ribbon at Glass City Metro Park. They were enjoying the cold and that ice over there on the east side of town, using a little bit of the railing as they make their way across. That is what I would look like if I were out there. Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers joins us in studio right now. So, Chris, you just issued an alert day for tomorrow. Why is that?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a nasty day tomorrow, but that proof right there, though, that winter can at least be fun in some instances. But here's what we're going to all be facing into Tuesday. I want you to be alert to this. Morning snow that will be occurring through the afternoon. The snow will be ceasing, but the winds will pick up, and any snow that does fall will be blowing around. Out of that bitter cold, we're going to be close to zero, but wind chills 10 to 20 degrees below zero. So we've got our alert day out there as we go into Tuesday. High right around 8 degrees. And the next several days, it's either teens to near 20 degrees as it stays very cold. Now, dry conditions on top of the radar. It's going to be after midnight that snow does come into the area. And I do expect these current readings that are in the single digits will stay close to, if not just above zero, as we go overnight tonight. The winds that have been gusty through the course of the day, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour is putting us in those sub-zero wind chills. Now let me fast forward our hour-by-hour forecast. I'm going to take you through tonight. We're going to be dry through 9 to 10 o'clock. It's going to be after midnight that the snow chance comes in. It's going to be a really quick hit of snow. Here's the clock, 2 a.m. This is going to be a light to moderate snow. And again, half an inch to an inch. Some areas perhaps up to 1.5 inches of total snow. Problem is, though, it's going to be so bitterly cold. Any snow that does fall is going to instantly stick and is not really going to be able to easily be removed, or salt not all that effective when it's this cold. A few flurries linger through about 6 to 7 a.m. By daybreak, likely we're going to be dry, but double digits below zero, 10 to 20 below zero. And it's extreme cold. It's the icy roads, slippery conditions that have prompted a lot of those schools to close or delay for Tuesday morning. Through the afternoon, the winds then pick up a bit. It will keep us sub-zero with the wind chills. Any blowing and drift of that light, fluffy snow will create some travel trouble spots through your Tuesday afternoon. Now, how much snow to expect? And again, it's not going to be much. That's kind of how this winter has gone, half an inch to 1 inch of total accumulation, but any of that snow will be extremely light and fluffy and very likely to be blowing around in any winds that do pick up. Overnight tonight, wind chills of 10 to 20 below zero, parts of the area under a wind chill advisory. The overnight low into the lower single digits. That snow comes in after midnight. Our alert day for Tuesday, frigid cold. Morning snow with some blowing snow into the afternoon. Highs are going to be in the single digits, and I do expect into Wednesday. We'll start the morning close to zero. High right around 20 degrees into Wednesday and Thursday. Another clipper system heads up to this one Thursday into Friday. May bring more wind and accumulating snow. Highs into the teens on Friday. A little warming trend into the weekend. We're not talking much. Low to mid-20s Saturday into Sunday. Back to the 30s Monday and Tuesday. And could head back close to 40 Wednesday and Thursday of next week, with rain chances becoming more likely. Jeff, back over to you.
All right, Chris, thanks. We are hearing tonight from neighbors where Toledo police officers shot and killed an armed man. TPD telling us that 33-year-old Albert Alderman was wanted for allegedly strangling his girlfriend, 29-year-old Kelsey Barnier, only hours before. Michael Sandlin takes us back to Avondale Avenue as neighbors are still reeling from what happened in their neighborhood.
It all started here, the home of Alderman and Barnier on North Byrne. Even before Sunday's violence, neighbors say they could always hear the couple fighting. Alderman had a documented history of violent behavior, charged with domestic violence in May and negligent assault in July. Court documents say officers and dispatchers at the time of the May incident even heard Alderman threaten to kill Barnier. Alderman was found guilty of negligent assault in October and was sentenced to 60 days at CCNO and a year of probation. But only 3 months later, Alderman was calling TPD dispatchers, telling them Barnier wasn't breathing. He gave a statement to police, but when the coroner ruled her death a homicide and officers came back, he decided to run. It all came to an end here on Avondale, after a shootout while driving. Toledo police say Alderman stepped out of his vehicle and pulled out a gun on officers, who in turn opened fire ending Alderman's life.
But they said, drop your gun, drop your gun, drop your gun. The next thing I heard, pop, 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 pop.
This man, Osa Oshodim, watched the whole thing play out from his bedroom window. Watch Alderman's body hit the street. It says it sat there for 6 hours before the coroner's office came to pick it up.
Then they say, they not cover him up with plastic.
Oshodim says those images will stick with him far longer than he would like.
This is my first time I've seen gunshot. I've seen on TV, but for real life, I couldn't sleep last night.
Oshodim's neighbor, Damon Cook, wasn't present for the shooting, but he came home from work in time to see the chaos. And much like Oshodim, is haunted by what he saw laying on the street.
But to actually see a homicide body in real life, that was my first time.
And it was the first time for Cook's kids, too. They heard the shots, and they looked out the window. And now Cook is trying to figure out how to talk to his kids about what they just saw.
You know, they're kind of sheltered kids, like most kids these days, and so they haven't really been exposed to anything like that before, you know.
For WTOL 11, the story will continue. We're still awaiting body cam video and other evidence to learn more about what's transpired here on Avondale. But the neighbors say they need an opportunity to recover. In West Toledo, Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.
A man is dead after a fire in West Toledo. Firefighters found the body inside a home on Sunset Boulevard, just north of Detroit Avenue and I-75. Investigators tell WTOL 11 that firefighters quickly contained the flames but found the man inside. Firefighters on the scene said the man had some type of medical condition. His name or cause of death has not yet been released. Owners of a local business that burned down over the weekend, they are now thanking firefighters who they say did all they could. Crews from several agencies battling flames at Barkin Lounge in Lake Township early yesterday morning. Firefighters quickly pulled 2 adults and at least 10 dogs from inside. Investigators say they believe a space heater accidentally sparked that blaze. The family that owns the dog boarding business says it is still trying to process exactly what happened. Owners say, quote, "We appreciate everybody's support and prayers. This is all extremely devastating and heartbreaking for not only us, but our awesome community of friends we have made over the years here. We had clients that were more like family members than really clients, and it hurts to not know when we could be back up and running, if ever we could rebuild, and that's all in the air right now." Well, today's Iowa caucus officially kicks off the presidential election season. Insiders predict one Republican candidate will likely be out of the race after tonight. Dr. Sam Nelson with the University of Toledo says even still, it's an odd process, and the last few presidents haven't even won the Iowa caucus other than President Trump back in 2020. He says it's more about positive media headlines and gaining momentum.
The Iowa caucuses have kind of provided an opportunity to change a narrative for somebody to come in, kind of make a big splash and get a different kind of news coverage that helps their campaign. Maybe it brings in more donors. Maybe it gets them more attention for their rallies or their campaign events, gives them a little bit of a tailwind.
Dr. Nelson points to Barack Obama in 2008, who gathered favorable media attention after his win in Iowa and then went on to beat Hillary Clinton. Los Salem Church held its annual Martin Luther King Day celebration mass today. Reverend Harvey Savage has held this service since the early 70s, and even though it was just 1 degree out this morning, the church was full. The guest speaker was Marquisa Horton from Corinth Baptist Church, celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She says the hope is to pass this history and legacy to the young people and change the way they treat each other. The University of Toledo hosting a unity celebration again this year, sharing Dr. King's message. Speakers included an influential organizer, independent journalist, producer, and scholar activist, as well as the founder and creative director of Midwest Kids Incorporated. There were also performances, music, and messages from guests during the event.
Today, as we celebrate, let us reflect and let us think of how Dr. Martin Luther King, in many speeches, spoke of nonviolence, spoke of civil rights, spoke of all of us working together living together, loving one another.
The Clemente.
The virtual discussion today aimed to inspire reflection and engagement. From there, history made Sunday night at Ford Field in Detroit. The Lions winning the first playoff game since January of '92 and the first ever playoff game at Ford Field. Here's Chase Bachman, joins us in studio with more on that.
Well, Jeff, that's right. The Lions are in brand new territory, hosting and winning a playoff game for the first time in more than 30 years. The Lions did it by beating the Rams 24-23, and this is also their second playoff win since 1957. Former Rams quarterback Jared Goff helped lead the way on offense for Detroit. The team scored on their first 3 offensive possessions, and the defense made just enough plays to hold on to that lead. The Lions also had the added storyline of beating their former quarterback in Matt Stafford. And as you can imagine, the fans made things very loud at Ford Field. We caught up with some of them before the game, and they were the exact same way.
We have been season ticket holders since Patricia. So we deserve this. We deserve this.
Oh, it'll mean everything. My dad's been a Lions fan his whole life, and it would mean the awesome everything to both of us.
Energy. I'm glad we all came here together for one thing. You know, everybody talking bad about Detroit. No, pan around and you'll see we all came here for one thing, and the Lions got to win. I want to see y'all at the Super Bowl.
The Lions now move on to the divisional round, where they'll play the winner of the Eagles and Bucks. We'll find out by the end of the night which team that is. But for now, that'll do it for sports. Reporting live in studio, Chase Bachman, WTOL 11.
Well, the first ever Seneca County Restaurant Week kicked off today. 21 restaurants across the county there participating, each with their own promotion. Organizers are hoping to get more foot traffic through the doors of these locally owned businesses during what is normally a slow part of the season.
During the summer and during other months, we find our restaurants are sometimes hustling and bustling, and at this time of the year, really there's an opportunity for maybe people to experience something new that they've not been to, or really come back to their fan favorite that they've been going to for years.
And you can find a direct link to all the participating restaurants on our website or on our news app. So alert day for tomorrow.
Yeah, we got some snow that's coming in tonight. It's not going to be a ton of snow, 1/2 inch to 1 inch of very fluffy accumulation into tomorrow morning, but it's the wind chills as well, 10 to 20 below zero. It'll keep us frigid all day Tuesday. And then through Tuesday afternoon, the winds pick up a little bit, so any of that really fluffy snow has a tendency just to blow right back around. As we know this time of the year too, salt not very effective, so roadways that are slippery in the morning could stay slippery much of the day.
We prefaced everything by talking about the superintendents that are already delaying for tomorrow or closing for the day. And they said their parking lots and sidewalks, they're just a mess right now. And I said to one of them, I said, well, that doesn't bode well for the rest of the week.
Not going to get much better. Yeah, we warm up a little bit toward 20 degrees. Hopefully maybe some salt can work away at some of that ice and give these schools a little bit of an extra time. But it's already been a long holiday weekend for many of them. And for some kids, another day off of school tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this special online presentation of WTOL 11 News at 6. For the latest headlines, be sure to stay connected to WTOL.com, and we hope to see you later tonight on WTOL 11 News at 11.